What if I told you the biggest threat to traditional record labels right now isn't another K-pop giant, isn't a Western superstar?
It's 5 Filipino artists who built their own system and cut the middleman out. This isn't just about music. This is about control. This is about ownership. This is about rewriting the power structure of global pop. Because while most artists sign contracts, SB19 built a company. And that right there, that's what's making traditional labels nervous. Today, we're breaking down why SB19's independent system isn't just different, it's dangerous to the old industry model. And once you see how it works, you'll understand why the traditional system might never be the same again. Part 1. The traditional record label system and why it exists. Before we talk about disruption, we need to understand the machine. Traditional record labels, think Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, were built on one core principle: control equals security. They finance the artist, they own the masters, they control distribution, they handle marketing, they take the majority share. Why? Because historically, artists needed labels to manufacture physical albums, distribute globally, secure radio play, fund massive promotions, organize tours. Without a label, global success was nearly impossible. But here's the key. That system was designed for a pre-digital world. Streaming changed everything. Social media changed everything. Direct-to-fan access changed everything. And that's where SB19 enters the conversation. Part 2. SB19 didn't just go independent, they built infrastructure. Most artists who go independent simply leave a label. SB19 did something different. They built 1Z Entertainment. That's not rebellion, that's architecture. Instead of renting distribution, borrowing marketing power, depending on executives, they created in-house production, direct fan mobilization, controlled branding, and equity ownership. This is important because when artists leave labels, labels still control industry relationships, distribution networks, capital. But SB19 structured their system so they didn't need permission to move, and that's unsettling. Part 3. Ownership is the real power shift. Let's talk about masters. In traditional deals, artists rarely own their recordings, the label does, which means the label profits long-term, the artist earns a percentage, and the catalog becomes corporate property. Now imagine an artist keeping creative control, master ownership, brand rights, revenue majority. That's not just independence, that's leverage. When artists realize they can fund projects through fan demand, use streaming analytics, monetize directly, and launch partnerships independently, the label becomes optional. And optional power structures don't like being optional. Part 4. The Asian strategy that changed the game. Here's another layer most people miss. SB19 didn't chase Western validation first. They prioritized Asia, and that move reshaped the growth curve. While many artists tried to break America immediately, SB19 strengthened regional loyalty, Asian fan bases, and cultural positioning. This isn't random. The Asian music market is massive and rapidly expanding. By building a strong regional foundation, SB19 reduced reliance on Western label infrastructure. Traditional labels thrive when artists need global expansion support. But when artists build regional dominance first, prove profitability, and control audience data, they negotiate from strength. That's uncomfortable for legacy companies. Part 5. The fan economy model. Here's where it gets even more interesting. SB19 doesn't operate on casual listeners alone. They operate on mobilized fandom economics. Their fan base streams strategically, purchases deliberately, amplifies content globally, and supports brand launches. That reduces marketing spend. Traditional labels depend on heavy ad spending, radio campaigns, paid placements, but SB19's system activates organic momentum, lower cost, higher loyalty, better margins. And when you can generate impact without massive label budgets, that changes negotiations forever. Part 6. Control over narrative. In the traditional system, labels often control release schedules, image direction, media positioning. But SB19 controls messaging, controls rollout timing, controls creative direction. This speeds execution. No corporate bottleneck, no boardroom delay, no external approval cycles. Agility is power in the digital era, and large corporations are not built for agility. Part 7. Why labels are watching closely. Let's be clear, traditional labels aren't afraid emotionally. They're strategically concerned. Because if SB19's model proves scalable, it signals artists can build vertically integrated systems, monetize without surrendering equity, negotiate distribution-only deals, and retain brand power. If more artists follow this blueprint, labels lose their strongest advantage, ownership leverage. That's the real threat. Part 8. The psychological shift. Here's something deeper. SB19 represents proof. Proof that a non-Western group, without Big Three backing, without legacy infrastructure, can build global presence independently. That psychological shift matters because younger artists are watching. And if emerging artists start asking, why give up ownership when there's another path, the traditional system must adapt or shrink. Part 9. It's not anti-label, it's post-label. Now, let's be balanced. Labels still provide massive capital, global radio access, industry lobbying power, tour infrastructure. But the equation has changed. The power dynamic is no longer artist needs label, it's becoming label needs high-performing artists. And when artists own their leverage, deals become partnerships, not dependence. That's the evolution SB19 symbolizes.
Part 10. Why this model is hard to copy.
Here's the twist. SB19's system works because of discipline, strategic patience, business awareness, and fandom unity. Not every artist can replicate that. Independence without structure leads to burnout, but independence with infrastructure, that's revolutionary.
Part 11. The bigger industry impact.
If this model scales across Asia, Africa, and Latin America, Western-centric control of pop culture weakens. Regional power centers grow. Artists negotiate globally without surrendering identity. That's not just a music story. That's economic decentralization, and it's happening in real time.
Part 12. The silent power move.
The scariest part is SB19 didn't loudly attack labels. They simply built an alternative. Disruption doesn't always look like rebellion. Sometimes it looks like quiet ownership. And quiet ownership is hard to fight. But here's the question. If more artists follow this path, will traditional labels evolve or become gatekeepers of the past? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because what's happening right now could define the next 10 years of global pop.
Part 13. What happens next?
We're entering a hybrid era. Future deals may look like distribution-only agreements, equity partnerships, short-term licensing, or artist-owned labels. SB19 didn't just go independent, they modeled leverage, and leverage reshapes industries. This isn't about fear, it's about power shifting. For decades, artists chased labels. Now, labels chase relevance. And in the middle of that shift stands SB19, not as rebels, but as architects. Architects of a system where artists own equity, fans fuel growth, and strategy replaces dependency. And that's why traditional labels are watching closely. Because the future might not belong to corporations, it might belong to creators who understand business. And SB19, they understood the assignment. If you want more deep breakdowns on SB19's business strategy, global positioning, and industry disruption, hit subscribe, because we're not just watching history, we're analyzing it. And the independent era, it's just getting started.